Need of a laugh? Well, VCU's newest magazine will definitely tickle your funny bone. Insight's Danielle Davison is in our studio with two guests.
Hello, I'm here with Christine Stoddard and David Fuchs with VCU's Comicality magazine. Hey guys, how are you doing today?
Fine,
Thank
thanks.
you.
Thank you for being here. So, what exactly is Comicality?
Comicality is VCU's premier sequential arts and humor magazine.
Okay, and what was the inspiration behind the formation of the magazine?
Well, VCU really has a strong emphasis on comics. There's a big comic scene, and VCU Special Collections at the library has a huge collection of comics, but there wasn't anything that really reflected that, and so we wanted to fill that.
Okay, so there are a lot of other student publications on campus, for example, the Commonwealth Times and Inc. So what sets you apart from these other publications?
Those are all quality publications, but none of them do an adequate job of showcasing comics and humor, satire, and we need an outlet for that. We have lots of students who are interested in drawing and writing comics, writing humor essays, so we thought it would be excellent to devote one publication to that whole culture and show what VCU is capable of doing.
Okay. So in Comicality, on the back of the cover page, there was a Dear Reader section. And in this section, you talked about how the comic is a grant project. So how did you go about applying for the grant, and who's funding the project?
Well, I work pretty closely with the Student Media Commission here, the Student Media Center. Greg Weatherford is one of my mentors. When he told me about the grant project, I just bounced a few ideas off of him. And eventually he decided that the comics idea was the strongest of my different plans, just because there are so many students here on campus that are involved with comics and there's not really an outlet, or at least previously there was no outlet for their ideas.
Okay. And how did you all come up with the name Comicality? Because it's definitely not something that you would normally hear.
I think that was something that we didn't really know about until later.
Yeah, we didn't have to have a title up front during our grant presentation to the Student Media Commission, so we just brainstormed. It actually took us about a month to find the perfect name. We went through a few silly ones like Ram Ruckus and Black and Gaga instead of Black and Gold, but Comicality just seemed to work because it was short and simple.
Okay. So also inside the magazine, there's a Comicality for Kids. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I led a comics workshop at Anna Julia Cooper School in the East End. These children were disadvantaged. They didn't have a regular art or creative writing class. So I came in, taught them just how to draw and write, have fun. I also had to teach them how to read comics because some of them weren't really familiar with them. Their parents didn't subscribe to the newspaper or didn't take them to comic book stores. And by the end of the workshop, 5 weeks, the children had all produced their little science fiction comics. I came in during their science class, so the teacher wanted the comics to be relevant to what they were learning. They were studying the solar system.
Okay. And so is Comicality for Kids something that you all plan to continue in every issue, or is that just for the first issue?
It's entirely possible because it was really a special circumstance, but I was actually surprised that we weren't really sure how that was going to affect how many copies we could run or how we were going to insert it into Comicality, but people really liked it and they liked having it in there, so it's definitely something we could look at doing again.
So how can we get the magazine?
It's available all around campus, especially in the major buildings like the library, Pollock, and the Commons.
Okay. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you for joining us. Again, I'm here with Christine Stoddard and David Fuchs with VCU's Comicality magazine. Thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having us.